Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the Trecena of Ix. I'm talking to you on the afternoon of 13 Aq'ab'al, the last day of the Imox Trecena. So in the Imox Trecena, I was talking about the creation, or at least the idea, of a new dream, the seed of a new dream that you're planting, the idea of what you're going to carry through in the next 260 days. So we're coming to the end of that right now. And what are we going into? Well, we're going into the understanding of how we're going to manifest that dream into reality. Ix, the reason why I've chosen to stand here in this place on this day, I'm still in my garden, but right behind me here I have the mountain of Aq'ab'al. Up in Aq'ab'al, just about up there somewhere, just over on that side, there are some altars, some sacred spaces, and these are places where sometimes we make ceremony. We make ceremony to petition Mother Earth for what we might need in life. This is all part of Ix. These are some important aspects of Ix. Ix is about caring for Mother Earth. Ix is about caring for the sacred spaces that we have on Mother Earth. Maybe also the sacred space within ourselves. Is about understanding what we find sacred within ourselves. And it's also about petitioning Mother Earth for what we might need materially to support us in bringing that dream into existence. A good friend of mine once said to me, he's been an Aq'ab'al, a keeper of the days, spiritual guide, who was trained over in Santiago, and he's been an Aq'ab'al for many, many years. And he was saying to me, always remember that part of ceremony is about asking Mother Earth for what you need. Now, like any mother, she's very open to what we need, to what we want to bring into her life, and what her children need to sustain her. Because it's a symbiotic relationship, and we have to remember that. Now, right now, we're in this strange time in the world, probably the strangest time that we've been in for many, many years. And as I said in the last Trecena, it's about reimagining, redreaming what it is that you want to bring in. One of the things that's come out of this time, this understanding of where we are right now, is how we can live more lightly on the earth. Perhaps how we can consume less resources, how we can travel less, how we can fly less, how we can drive less, how we can come up with solutions to the problems of how we're going to work from home. It's amazing what we've been able to overcome in these last couple of months. And here, in this time that we go into, in this time of Ix, it's about how we can look at preserving the sacred nature of Mother Earth by lowering our impact, but also receiving the resources that we need in order to bring this new dream into action. So, as I say, it's really about cultivating your symbiotic relationship with the spirit of Mother Earth and reconnecting or rebirthing the magic of that connection. There is a way of looking at things that would say that we all have some magic inside of us. We're all able to bring into reality what we really need in life. Not excessively, but what we need in order to continue our evolution, in order to help our souls to evolve, in order to help us to be able to look after Mother Earth in a more practical fashion. And so in this way, we can understand this is what the Trecena of Ix is about. Okay? As I say, in the Trecena of Imox, we kind of defined our new dream. In the Trecena of Ix, we work out how we can connect with Mother Earth in order to gather the resources that we need to help that dream to come into being. The Trecena of Ix begins on the day 1 Ix. This is a day about the reconnection, the reseeding of that magical self, that connection to the magic within, that connection, that magical connection between our heart and the heart of the earth. And often we might do that through sacred spaces such as Aq'ab'al, through altars, through shrines, but we've got to remember that it's what we carry within us at all times. These places may enhance, they may act like antennas They may act like the ears of the mother jaguar, listening to what it is that we want to bring in. But at the same time, that's what we carry within ourselves. So it's kind of like a reinitiation of the magic, the reinitiation of the belief in ourselves and of our connection to Mother Earth. It's also a reconnection to Mother Earth herself in order to look after her. It's an opportunity to reassess the way that we live, an opportunity to reassess our impact on Mother Earth and how that might have a detrimental effect, how we might be able to live more lightly. If we're going to ask her for her resources, then maybe we ought to take some responsibility for looking after her as well. You know, it's at the end of the day, we live on a finite planet. And while we might consider many resources to be infinite, they're not. And so we live more lightly. The Trecena of Ix and the day 1 Ix helps us to see that. The one, the birthing, the reinitiation, the rebirth of the magic, remembering that you have this ability to connect and to use it accordingly. So from 1 Ix we then go into 2 Tz'ikin. So the number 2 can often be about decisions. It can often be about seeing things rather in black and white. And Tz'ikin is your vision. So it's about literally seeing things in black and white, right? It's about seeing things the way, okay, do you want to take that path or that path? Okay, which path is the most sustainable? Again, with regards to Tz'ikin, I often talk about Tz'ikin being the visionary that's looking at the way that we can thrive in the future. And of course, our ability to thrive, our ability to prosper, very much depends on Mother Earth's ability to prosper, our environment's ability to prosper. So once again, it comes back to living lightly, and it's about making choices as to which vision you wish to follow. Do you wish to follow a vision which is unsustainable, or is there a better way? 2 Tz'ikin might highlight that very starkly, this way or that way, black or white, up or down, left or right, however that might be, and bring it into sharp contrast as to this vision is the vision which will help you to sustain yourself and those around you, and that vision might not. So it's about making your choices, making a decision about which vision you want to follow. From there we then go into 3 Aq'ab'al. Now Aq'ab'al, the day of forgiveness, the day of redemption. Aq'ab'al, the Nawal that teaches us to forgive. And here we see it coupled with the number 3. And the number 3 representing the home, but also representing what's going on inside of us. So 3 Aq'ab'al can be very much about self-forgiveness. It's about releasing the past so that you can move forward. And if we're talking about our ability to connect with the spirit of Mother Earth, if we're talking about our ability to co-create or manifest what it is that we need in our life in order to go forward with our new dream, then sometimes we've got to kind of like let go of some stuff. Maybe we've got to let go of some burdens, maybe we've got to let go of shame or blame or guilt that's been going on inside of us. So this is a great day for self-forgiveness, to give yourself a break. Because, you know, we beat ourselves up about what we could have done differently, how we could have done better, why we didn't say that, do that, act like that, or whatever it was when we had the opportunity. Well, that time's gone. So if you sit and dwell on it, all it does is stifle your magic. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being humble about it. There's nothing wrong with holding your hands up and saying, yeah, I made a mistake. But we don't need to keep reliving that moment, because it takes our energy away from the true creativity that we can actually tap into when we choose to let it go. So 3 Aq'ab'al really gives us that opportunity to let go of what needs to be released and left in the past so that we can move forward into our co-creativity with Mother Earth. It's an opportunity as well. You know, we might say, well, you know, in the past I had that, I don't know, big V8 engine truck, or I had this, I was a bit of a petrol head, or however that might fall. Like maybe you weren't living in harmony with Mother Earth. Well, okay, here's an opportunity to change that. It's not going to change if you just keep beating yourself up about it. So it's kind of like, right, say, okay, I'm sorry, that happened, now it's all going to change. Now I'm going to choose to live differently. So you have that opportunity. So from 3 Aq'ab'al we then go into 4 Noch. Now 4 Noch I always see as rather an interesting combination to have. We went through a year 4 Noch in 2016. Noch, I always think about this idea of how it's having the knowledge in the right place, having the knowledge readily accessible, so that we can use it to come up with the solutions, so that we can use it to come up with the answers to the problems, so we can use it to help our community. And here it's connected with the 4, which is very much about the physical plane. It's about the material existence. So this is saying 4 Noch is about using your knowledge to bring stability into physical reality. It's about putting your plan into physical action, at least materially, or at least building the foundation for it. Because the 4 still needs to develop. The 4 is just the base, it's the foundation to build something else on. So it's using the knowledge that you have, using the experience and the understandings that you've picked up through life to create a solid foundation. What for? Well, we're in the Trecena of Ix, so it's about to bring this connection into being. Now we can also see 4 as being a very earthy number, and so maybe also this day of 4 Noch can bring to you some ideas about how you can materially survive and thrive whilst remaining understanding of the needs of the earth. It's putting your knowledge into practice, understanding how to solve those problems. From 4 Noch we then go into 5 Tijax. So 5 Tijax. Tijax, the obsidian blade, Tijax the surgeon, Tijax the sculptor, Tijax the warrior. Here we see it coupled with the number 5, the number of work, the number of putting your energy into stuff. Okay, so once again, I always feel like the number 5 is a day on which we've got to give it a little bit of a push. We've got to focus on it, rather than just expecting it to drop into our lap, expecting it to happen. It's a time when we can say, right, okay, I know that there are certain things that I need to prune out of life, that I need to cut away. They need to use my discernment very gently and very carefully to cut away the things which are not part of the new dream from Imox, that are not part of my connection with Mother Earth, or that are stifling, or that are limiting my understanding, the things which are limiting your connection, the things which need to be pruned out of your life in order to be more connected. So 5 Tijax gives us the opportunity to do that. It suggests we're going to have to put a little bit of energy into it, but with that sharp obsidian blade, we should be able to remove quite gracefully that which needs to be removed in order to bring about that dream, in order to bring about that connection. From 5 Tijax, we are then going to go into 6 Kawok. So Kawok, the midwife, Kawok the rain, Kawok the rebirthing, Kawok the compassionate elder that helps us through the birthing process. Kawok also is the flood that washes away all that Tijax has cut, gets washed away by Kawok. The two work together, Tijax being like an active healing principle and Kawok being like a passive healing principle. And here we see Kawok paired with the number 6. And the number 6 being the stability, the physical plane, but here drawing on the divine masculine and divine feminine to bring that in. And so it's a higher aspect of healing. It's something which encompasses all and brings a certain degree of stability to it. So as we go through this process, as we go through this Trecena of Ix, Kawok is here to help us to heal what was cut away and understand how that we can truly bring into this world something which is stable, something which has been well thought through, something which applies both the masculine and feminine principles, the active and the passive, the compassion, in order to bring about a new world, in order to bring about a new connection with Mother Earth. From 6 Kawok, we're then going to go into 7 Ajpu. So Ajpu the quest for the divine. And 7 Ajpu in particular is a very, very interesting Nawal. It represents one of the figures from the Popol Vuh, the uncle of the hero twins, the brother of Hunhun Ajpu. They descended together to the underworld. And we could look at it with the number 7 representing the old, the outworn, the dead, representing the end of the journey. And Ajpu representing the sun, so it's the end of the old sun, and I think this is what it alludes to within the Popol Vuh. It's the end of an era. It's kind of like, right, it's an opportunity to say goodbye to the old sun, to the old world. It's an opportunity to say goodbye to what you previously held as divine, and choose again. Because when we're on the top of that pyramid, we can see in all directions. So it's choose your light, choose what lights up your world, choose what you hold divine. As you enter into this new time, as you enter into this new dream, this is an opportunity to truly see which divine path you want to take. And there may be several options, but the 7 will always be talking about it's time to choose. Choose how you connect with the divinity. From 7 Ajpu, we then go into 8 Imox. So we've come back to Imox 20 days after this kind of like reset of the calendar. Imox representing the great lakes of the world, the great bodies of water, the oceans. It also represents the dreams. And this is the whole dream. So in the Trecena of Imox, we started with the 1 Imox, the new dream. And here it's the 8 Imox. Now the 8 can also be seen as being made up from the 1 and the 7. So it's like the new dream of the 1 Imox with the old dream of the 7 Imox coming together. So it's how can you incorporate the elements from the previous cycle, the dream of the previous cycle, into the cycle now? And how is that going to help you connect with Mother Earth, with the sacred spaces, connect with the sacred within yourself? How can we help to develop that dream? Because everything is built as layers, is one on top of the other. Just because we've moved into a new cycle, it doesn't mean that we forget everything that we learnt in the last cycle. We've got to keep that moving forward. So it's like what we dreamed 280 days ago in that case. It's like, right, okay, how can we combine that with what we're dreaming now? How can we use it to our best abilities? 8 Imox is also an excellent day for making a ceremony for the water, making a ceremony for the oceans, making a ceremony for the lakes, making a ceremony for the large bodies of water around you. Now, whether that is a meditation, whether that is a Mayan fire ceremony, or whether it is choosing to go to your local lake, beach, ocean, or whatever it might be, and picking up trash. Because in this Trecena of Ix, in this Trecena where we're caring for Mother Earth and connecting with Mother Earth, what better ceremony could there be than looking after the Mother? So here we see it connected with the water sources. So it's a great day for any of those things, if they are allowed in the place that you live, as it were. I'm not suggesting people go out and break laws or all that kind of thing, but if you have the opportunity to show your gratitude, to make this ceremony for the water, then 8 Imox is the day for it. From 8 Imox we go into 9 Ix. Again, another interesting combination, because we have the number 9, the number of the divine feminine, the number of life, and Ix as the divine breath, the breath of life. So literally 9 Ix is a day to ask for the breath of life. This is a great day to ask for the healing for those people whose lungs have been suffering. This is a great day to ask for the breath of life to revitalize us, to bring out the true life force for us. It's a great day for the communication. It's also a day, as I said, the number 9 connects with the feminine. And so this is the words of women may be particularly important on the day 9 Ix. From 9 Ix, we then move into 10 Aq'ab'al. So Aq'ab'al, the dawn and the dusk, the new concept. And here we see it connected with the number 10, the two hands coming together, cooperation, society, community. So this might be an ideal day to present your new concepts to your community. It might be an ideal day to ask for your community, to ask for assistance, for cooperation in helping to bring that new concept into the world. It's a day when we might be shedding light on something, because Aq'ab'al is about the new dawn. It's about the rebirth of the sun every day. It's about coming out of the period of night and going into the period of day. In fact, so, it's the period of coming out of the darkness and into the light. Now, sometimes we might need a little bit of assistance with that. Maybe we've been in some fairly dark places, and maybe we need our community and a bit of support around us to help to bring us out of those dark places. Or maybe it's the other way round. Maybe your community needs you to help them to come out of their dark space. To remember that the sun is always going to rise. There's always going to be another day when we can start again, when we can reimagine the dream, when we can bring it in. So Aq'ab'al can be all about that, about presenting your new concept to the community and asking for their assistance to help you to bring it into reality. From Aq'ab'al, we then move into 11 Cat. Now, this is an important day for several reasons. We can look at it firstly from 11 Cat as the combination of the number and the Nawal. 11 being this number which can be very creative, but it creates by having a lot of latitude to go in different directions. And Cat being about what you're choosing to bundle in your net. What fruit you're choosing to pick from the tree at what point in time. Which trees you're choosing to pick from. How you're going to fill your net with different understandings from different places. Cat I also see as a day of harvest, because we're filling the net with the produce that we've received from Mother Earth. And it could be an ideal day to identify all the different produce that you may need to fill your sack in the future, as it were. In this Trecena of Ix, as we're asking for the assistance of Mother Earth, we might understand that we need that many tomatoes, that many onions, that many potatoes, or those kind of things. Okay, of course they are metaphorical products, but it's an idea about kind of like looking around and seeing everything that is available to us, everything that we can use to sustain our journey to fill our net. From the other reason why I mentioned that this is a particularly interesting day is because in the Dresden Codex, this day of 11 Cat is the day on which Venus will move into its inferior conjunction phase. Right now, as I speak, we'll still see Venus in the western sky at sunset. It's been getting lower and lower each evening. You might have seen it. You might have recognised that it's not as high as it was back in March, when it reached its greatest eastern elongation, when it was really high in the western sky. Right now you just see a little bit before sunset and then it goes. On 11 Cat, according to the Dresden Codex, this is when it's going to disappear for 8 days. So for me, the period of time when Venus is in its phase as the evening star is a period of time when it is the obsidian mirror. It's Tezcatlipoca. It's about looking inside of ourselves at the stuff that we're hiding from ourselves. It's about going in introspectively, looking at our own shadows, as it were, within ourselves. Now that's been going on since 30th of September last year, since the day 8-ish. So here we are on this day 11 Cat, and that time is over. That time of darkness, that time of introspection, that time of looking inside of ourselves and maybe of judging ourselves and seeing what where we went wrong, that time of facing up to our shadows is done. And it's time to move on. And so we're going to go through this 8-day period of darkness, as it were, this 8-day period where Venus has disappeared from the sky, before we then move into the period where Venus reappears as the morning star. Now sometimes these times are said to be turbulent, It's actually going to reappear as the morning star on the day 6 Ech, which is the 14th of June, which will be outside, it will be in the next Trecena. And I understand that there is some discrepancy between the Dresden Codex and possibly what we observe now. This is mainly because of the, it's like 1400-year-old table, so there's been a little bit of drift. But we can think about it as being the same principle. And when Venus returns as the morning star, returns in the morning sky, this is said to be a time of upheaval, and it's said to be a time when scandals come to light. Because it's like the light of the world comes back, and that which was hidden inside suddenly becomes visible to all. That which they tried to sweep under the carpet and keep in the darkness is suddenly now being revealed by this great light returning to the world. So I would say that between the 6th and the 14th of June, this may be a time when we may see some scandals coming out. We may see some leaders kind of like having to answer some rather challenging questions. So that's usually what Venus is going to signify. So, from 11 Cat, we are then going into 12 Can. Can, the Nawal of wisdom, the Nawal of power. Can is, it can be about illusions. Interesting that. Because the illusions are often those things which they come from those people that are trying to have power over us, and Can helps us to see through those illusions. It helps us to use our wisdom to understand them. Now, the particularly interesting thing about that is that combined with the number 12 being the bringing together of all of life's experience. So it's like using your life's wisdom to see through the illusions to the truth. As I said, this is a time when we might expect those illusions that have been created around us to fall, when we might understand the illusions that maybe some leaders have been trying to have over us start to dissipate. We're able to use our wisdom to maybe take back our power. So there's those aspects of it. That said, the day 12 can be extremely powerful. Maybe it might be a bit too powerful for one or two of us, and it's very important to understand to use our power very gracefully, very carefully on that day. Sometimes it might be a little bit too powerful, and we might get a bit more than we were bargaining for. Hopefully, your life experience will kick in and guide you how to use your power wisely, because the ultimate expression of Can is as the teacher who empowers those around it. So one of the other things that we could definitely see with the 12 Can energy is that this is an excellent day to teach your life experience in order to empower the people around you. This is a great day in this Trecena when we're reconnecting with the magic, when we're reconnecting with with Mother Earth. 12 Can is where our own wisdom and life experience that's given rise to that wisdom may well guide us. And then finally, for this Trecena, we move into 13 Kame. Now 13 Kame is a very, very powerful day. I sometimes describe it like the sacred calendar version of Halloween, because you have two things together which both represent the spirits of the ancestors. You have Kame, which the Nawal of death. Kame, the Nawal of our connection to our ancestors. Kame, the Nawal of the dead and of spiritual transformation. Combined with the number 13, which also represents the ancestors, and also it can represent the spirit world. So it's literally on 13 days, on days number 13, we would always expect that the spirit world is rather close. We say on Halloween, we might say that the veil between the worlds is rather thin. Well, within the sacred calendar, we kind of get that every 13 days, because every time that we hit 13, our 13 joints are empowered with the sacred energy, and, we get that connection to spirit. Now here, it's not just a connection to spirit as normal, it's a connection to spirit with the Nawal of the ancestors. So here, every 1st of November, they celebrate the Day of the Dead. And this is a day when you might go to the cemetery and you take your plate of your ancestors' favourite food and you light the candles and you sit with your ancestors, you communicate with your ancestors. Well, 13 Kame is exactly that, but within the sacred calendar. So this is a great day to ask for messages from your ancestors, ask for guidance from your ancestors, to connect with spirit, to connect with the spirit world, to connect with the spirits of your friends, your family that have moved into the other world, and receive the messages from them, receive that connection, and ask them maybe to help you to understand how to connect with Mother Earth again, how to connect with that magic inside of you. So it's a very powerful day. You might not necessarily need to do too much meditation to hear the voices of the ancestors. It may be very, very clear to you. They may be speaking loud and clear. So be aware of that. Maybe don't be too surprised if you get those messages coming through thick and fast. And if it's maybe a little bit more challenging for you, then it's a great day to make the effort to put the energy there, because it's like the signal is turned on and all you've got to do is tune into it. So that's been the Trecena of Ix. I hope that it's been of use to you, and I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Ix. Thank you.